Go for it.
Good evening. This is the Monday, May 6th nominations and appointment committee meeting. My name is Chris Miller, I'm the counselor of District 6. Beside me is Counselor Vanessa Campos of District 1 and Counselor Wesley Butler from District 4. Tonight, we have one applicant for the appointment to, we have two boards that have openings. The Fire Civil Service Board and the Police Civil Service Board. And the applicant this evening is Janice Grant. Welcome, Jan.
Thank you.
Our process is that we will take turns and ask you questions about the board that you're interested in serving on. And then when we're done, if you have any questions for us, you can ask them too. I'll start just because I just want to clear one thing up. I'm not sure which board. Did you have one in mind? Police, okay. I know that we were just having the conversation before you came that there's more of a need for the fire board if you would be interested, but that's your choice.
Well, I'm a needy person anyway.
You're a
Needy person.
okay.
That's a joke.
Okay.
It
Right.
doesn't matter. It doesn't.
Okay. Well, I
I'll do
think
whatever I do.
we can do the interview in general, but I think we just need to be clear from the beginning if everybody is on the same page and if there's more of a need for one board. What is the difference between the two boards?
So the difference between the two boards is essentially it's the same function. One is examining police officers to be new recruits and for promotions, and the other does the same thing for firefighters and EMTs. So it's essentially the civil service process. It's just whether you're looking at the police department or the fire department. Of the applicants, that I don't know. This is one of the boards that I'm not involved with. So I don't know the specifics, but the civil service process is essentially the same, I believe. So the Fire Civil Service Board has had a vacancy since 2014 that we've been unable to fill. And the Police Civil Service Board has had a vacancy since 2023.
There, what's the difference? So as you're contemplating, my question to you is, how did you learn about the vacancy?
I was approached
Okay.
and I was at a meeting and said that your name came up and they thought you might be interested in the Civil Service Commission.
Okay.
Your background is so good. I said, okay, so I said, I'll put an application.
That's good to hear because, you know, we're always trying to get people involved with the boards and the committees. So it's always interesting to hear how people get involved if they found out from somebody else, if they were asked, if it's something they saw online. So that's good to hear that somebody that you were approached and that you were agreeable.
Sure.
Your schedule, do you feel that you have time? Since I know you have told us you have 5 children.
They're grown.
Okay.
They went to college on their own. They
Okay.
don't live in the state. They don't live in the state.
So then the meetings would not be a problem.
No.
Okay,
No,
that's good.
no, but I was also asked to, would I like to do some counseling at the Y? And I said, I don't know, it's a different set of environment. But I said, I'll see. So doesn't really matter. Because I would probably choose my own hour.
They always say if you want something done, find somebody who's always busy.
Right?
That sounds like you.
Mhm.
All right, those are all the questions I have for now. I'm gonna pass it to my fellow counselors.
Um, let me start one program.
First question is, can you just tell me what you think the purpose of the police civil service board is?
I believe that, it is it's a legislative action, I'm quite sure, constitutional, no, but, legislative that, it would be in the restriction of the hiring of them and the firing of them and the promotions of them and seeing the benefits wise as well as, whatever entails that.
My question. And my last one is, um, have you or someone you know gone through the civil service testing process?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes.
I like that.
That was 40 years ago.
Okay.
Worked with Social Security Administration for 41 years.
Oh,
I started as a GS2 and ended up as a GS13. So all those there, I started at 533 Penn Street, went on out to 45 South Front Street, went to Wyomissing, came back into town at 2nd and 10. I was in Lancaster for 7 years on a special detail, an SBW workload, in which we dealt with cases that SSI and the regular Social Security, that their quarters were not caught at the time they were taking the application. We had to pick up all these cases and rework them and pay these people because they had quarters of coverage that was not picked up. They were instruments. So 7 years in Lancaster, I traveled. So I'm familiar with the government. I'm familiar with.
highly qualified.
Yeah.
For an act.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all my question. Thank you, Francis.
Right, out of my Dennis, you mentioned a little bit about your experience and your background, so it's going to be my next question, and you shared a lot of your trajectory. What are some personal characteristics that you bring to the board?
Okay, first of all, I'm a pastor. Volunteer. I don't get paid for that. I was at this church for 30 years. And when we went there, my husband and I, went to help her. He was a builder. But the next year he passed away. So I was there with the pastor, and I was second in charge in command, that you would say. And I did all the work. She got the paycheck, but I did. But it was okay. It was okay. Good experience. And so therefore I am, they installed me as a pastor after COVID. After COVID, we were closed for a couple of years. And then we're back now. But I have plenty of help. I have ministers that are very good. And I really would feel guilty in taking a paycheck for the work that I do there. But that's one of my passions. Then I work with the United Missionaries in Reading, in which I'm the president, and we're now trying to hand it over to someone else, but it seems like nobody wants it. It's done quite a bit of work, but we handle it. We have a lot of good hands together.
Good. And what would you say you would like to see change or different, a goal or an outcome with your participation in civil service board?
I have to look to see what it's all about. I have to see where it lacks or where it needs to be filled in, or I have to see the tenure of years or whatever that needs to work to be done to change. And I am a changer. No, I'm a worker. See, I work, and that dictates change when you work, when you do the thing.
All right, thank you for sharing. Those are my questions.
I think we're through. Did you have any questions for us?
Yes. What makes up the police force? How many? Are there 260 now, or is it for the?
That's a really good question, and to give you an exact number, I don't think any of us could do that.
Okay, what about the police force? The firemen?
I couldn't answer that either off the top of my head.
So you asked the number.
Mhm.
Okay.
In 2006, we had a chaplaincy program in the city of Reading. And Lyle Carter, Sergeant Lieutenant Carter was the overseer. He passed away. And that's when it dwindled around us. But one of them, they still have a couple chaplains there, but I was there in the mission of them, and I think they to 2012. It started when we got in February and Patrolman Words was killed then.
Right.
We had it at the Santander, the big funeral and everything, and we were new. I was in the chaplaincy, but the chaplains were new there. And I said, oh, you have to greet the people. This is what we do. This is what you do. You have to help comfort them, so that.
Yeah, I mean, I could give you a guesstimate on the police officers, but I couldn't give you the exact number. And I know we've had many conversations that were below what we should be. I think that's public knowledge.
On that. And the same with the firemen, you wouldn't know either.
I don't, because they're in the process of training new recruits.
The firemen, are they paid? All of them paid?
Yes, and so are the EMTs, right?
They're paid. At one time they weren't. At one time they.
Right, there were volunteers, but
You were born.
not that young. But it's interesting, we just heard a couple months ago that Reading is the only municipality in the county that has paid firemen and EMTs. All the other townships have volunteers, or they have to rely on other townships. They don't even have fire service, which is interesting. And the other thing that was interesting to learn too is that the Reading Fire Department will go out of the city to help other townships if it's needed, which is really good to know. Any other questions?
When I go home.
Of course.
You've got my email. Feel free to send me a barrage, whatever you think of.
Okay, Shelley, would you like to explain the process from this point on?
Sure. So once the interview concludes, the committee will discuss the appointment. If they choose to move that forward, then on Monday at the city council meeting, there'll be an resolution on the agenda to formally adopt, which would then you'll get a packet from us with all the information on whichever, if they choose to move you forward for police, you get a packet of information about the Police Civil Service Board, and I'll provide your contact information to the staff liaison so that you start getting all the correspondence and are invited to the meetings. So it'll depend on this conversation tonight and then the actions taken by council on Monday.
What's the tenure? How long could
It's a 4-year term.
you for each of them?
Yes, and you stagger so that you're not all off at the same time. That way you have the experience of other members to help mentor the new ones. And you, at the end of your term, if you're interested, you may reapply for the position. We'll go through the same process again with the interview and, all of that. But you have the option to reapply if you want to keep serving.
You could serve on one to the next, to another.
Yes, so if after your 4 years is over, you want to serve elsewhere, when you get the packet from me reminding you that your term is expiring, when you fill out the paperwork, just put a different board on the application and you'll be considered for something else. But you can only serve in one place at a time.
Well, I won't.
I do as well, but we're only allowed one.
I don't have any questions. I have 100 of them when I got home. Right now, it's okay.
Can I add one more, just to confirm, Janice? You're open to either board, police or fire, or do you still have a strong
I
preference?
would like police.
And
Would like the,
and why would you like it smaller than fire?
I'm familiar with them. Not a lot, but I used to go to roll call and used to ride along and we used to be a part of it. But as I say, there is a need for in the fire, board, and you haven't had one since what, 2014?
Mhm.
So, I'll accept it, fire. If I'm approved for it.
All right, thank you for coming in. That's,
Thank you. Oh,
Do you have another candidate coming
no, this is
in?
it.
And the one meeting I come to, I think.
We usually have three. That's what we said tonight was unique. We only had one candidate.
thank you, have a great evening.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Good work. You go. Good evening, you too. Nice to see you. Good to see you too. Yeah. Be courteous. Yes.
Okay, discuss the applicant. I think her background with Social Security is an asset. It's nice that she has agreed that she'll consider the fire civil service board over the police, even though that was her preference. I'm in agreement.
I think her background and what she shared and whole counseling, I think that she does pastoring, that kind of thing. I would like to see her in the police, and I know that was one of her first. I know there's a need for the fire, but I can see that skill set being helpful in that area, and plus she was familiar with more of the police than the fire. Like, I feel like putting her in the fire is because there is a need, but like to match her background, I would say police if I had a choice. Your thoughts, Leslie?
Yeah, I would say police as well. From what I'm reading, there's one opening on each. And so I don't understand. When you say need, I understand that fire dates back, the last one is 2014, but you know, we still have an opening that needs to fill it on police. So that's her first choice. And like Vanessa said, she has familiarity with police. I'd rather her be on the police board.
That's fine. You all make a decision. Yeah, no, you make the decision. I'll make the resolution, police.
Regarding rules.
Yeah.
So, all right, then I guess that's majority has decided yes to the appointment and yes to police over fire. Either way, we're filling a vacant seat. That's the important thing. Okay, on to appointment recommendations. So.
So that was Janice. You're recommending her for police. Yes.
Which means we'll still have an open for fire. And then coming up, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Has there always been an open seat on redevelopment? I thought that. Oh,
Well, it was, and then there was several resignations. So we're trying to refill that.
Oh, we still no refill from what transpired.
No, not fully. There's one vacancy still, so, so my plan is I'm trying to get the 2 planning commission applicants on the next agenda for both of you. And then the animal control. But the 2 for redevelopment and the 1 for water will be at a committee of the whole rather than at this committee. That way the full council has the opportunity to ask questions. They like to do that for the authorities.
Now, are Vanessa and Jamie, are they counted in those numbers or that?
So Vanessa is a member, Jamie's the alternate. So there's still, yeah, so there's still, even with her, there's still 1 more.
That's what I thought. I thought it was one.
Yeah, yeah.
One that comes up.
So what are those meetings going to be scheduled that you might know of, since it's going to be a committee of the whole? What are we looking at, June? maybe?
It's, yeah, I believe it's the first Monday. I'd have to confirm. I'll confirm that in an email.
And then it would be
It's,
a separate one for, the water, or were they both be in the same?
we're gonna try and do all 3 in one night and bang them out, get them, back to back. And then council will need to choose between the 2 redevelopment applicants, which one moves forward.
Unless there's more that come up too.
Unless there's more
Because
that
we
come
have
in
to
until,
count on
yeah.
that time. So whoever, the X number that applied before I don't know, there's a deadline, probably before we do.
Yeah, if more come in before, too close to the deadline, then we'll have to delay it to get the background check done.
It would only be fair to.
Yes, yeah.
okay, so then for nominations, the ones that would be coming forward would be Youth Commission, Animal Control. That's it.
Planning. The planning commission will come here as well. There's 2 for the planning commission,
I thought you said that would go before.
redevelopment and water
Oh, okay,
will be at the committee of the whole.
okay.
And going back to the youth commission applicant, I sent him a letter by US mail since he was not responding to voicemails or emails, and I've not had a response from that yet either. So I have a feeling something happened and we're gonna lose that.
Okay. It's probably better beforehand than appointing somebody and. Right.
2 like that right now.
Okay, and then the exit survey, the sample questions are on the 4th page.
So those
Five.
were the 5 that remained after our last discussion, and I did make some language adjustments, but I wanted to run them past you one more time.
And then there was, first mentioned, like for the first question, that, you wanted it more like positive language.
Neutral.
Yeah, something
Neutral.
along those lines. I think the first set of questions, could be tweaked a little bit to make it more neutral, positive, or. All the others I remember we agreed to, which were great.
Any other comments, Wes?
I like the questions, so. I think it makes for a great exit.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can just work on that first one.
Yep.
Just to make it, that it doesn't come across as whether the experience on the board was positive or negative. It's more about their response either way, but the
Right.
question can't set the stage. And the way it is now, it's almost like it's a negative. Then the last thing is item 4, review pending applications memo. Page 5. We did that, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, we did that before.
Right, page 7 with the openings on the boards, authorities, and commissions with the open seats. So the last meeting, we talked about trying to figure out a way to get the openings out into the community, that people know that they're available, and also to be able to give an understanding of what's involved, so that if somebody does have interest, they have an idea of what each board or commission or authority involves as far as time and what the requirements would be. And I know we talked about the website. I had a conversation with Shelley last week
Yes.
about trying something with Center Park where they have a monthly, it's like a drop-in where they call it coffee and chat. And they were looking for people that neighbor could stop in and just start a casual conversation. I said, this would be a great fit for members of the boards to sort of be there to answer people's questions for, it's just casual over a cup of coffee. I don't know if we could do that in other neighborhoods, but I think it would be a great way to do it in a casual setting where people just sort of drop in rather than a formal meeting. Might be something for counselors to think about. If there's some way that we could do that to help promote the vacancies on the boards.
Okay. Yeah, that's a start, I would say. So we're going where it says council appointment, wherever it says openings, like 3 opening, 2 opening, those are the ones that are open, unless.
Yeah,
they're in the-
wherever you see the number of openings, those are vacancies.
Mhm. That's what we can.
And I did ask the webmaster about doing some social media. I'm not sure. I have to follow up with him. I'll do that tomorrow. I've honestly not been on social media a lot lately, so I don't know if it actually posted.
I didn't see anything.
Okay.
Remember, we said it could even be like a typed.
That's something,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll forward what I
Okay.
sent him to you.
all these various words. Because I like to also offer the link, that way they can see all of them. And then, I mean, I could relay which ones are in need, but then they see them all and they can click on the information for each one that they're interested in. You know what I mean? That way, I don't have to detail, and, fire civil service is looking for this, and this is what they do, they can just click on it and read it for themselves. But there is a link that takes you to that page where they're all listed.
And is there a number if they have questions that aren't answered on the link?
I don't know, I
It sh-
looked, there should.
It should be, because it's my number. It's our
Okay.
number, yeah,
Okay.
so.
There should be.
I have one other question. I know like at city events, city-sponsored events, like the Taco Fest or like First Friday, a lot of there's usually a city table and there's usually like the water authority has a table set up. Is there some way that we could have some kind of printed information about this that could be handed out or that they could read? Or somebody could be there to answer questions? Just because the people are already there at the event, it might be a good way to get the word out.
Yeah, we can get materials ready. I had put something together probably last year. Melissa asked for it to hand out at some of her meetings. So, it's a brief description. It's what's at the top of your interview sheets, the brief description of what the
I like
boards
that.
are.
Yeah.
And then like how often they meet and
Right,
And then
just to
a
start the
packet,
conversation.
yeah, a packet of, applications, that
When you look
we-
at the number of people that come out for those events,
Mhm.
you know, it's like,
And sometimes they're just not aware that they can volunteer.
right,
It would be happy.
Well, that's good that you brought that up now, Chris, because as the summer comes, like there's
Yeah.
more events, more people want to be out.
Yeah.
So we have something in mind, we can start spreading the word.
all right. Anything else? Miss anything? Once, twice? All right, can I have a motion to adjourn? Okay, motion made, all in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Have a good evening.